Senor Maya, hit it.
It's a trick problem, Mr. Kimo. You can't solve it unless you know how many girlfriends they have in common, right?
It's not that they're stupid. It's just they don't know anything.
I'm wrong?
So this is an impromptu video response to Bad Dog. And the reason why I am responding to Bad Dog is because I have a ton of respect for Bad Dog. He is, in my opinion, one of the most objective people on YouTube when he's talking about sports. Bad Dog is really knowledgeable about sports, and I respect his opinion whenever he speaks it. I might not agree with what he has to say, but I still respect it when he says it. Bad Dog is one of those people who he has subscribers, he has viewers, but he deserves more. And, you know, he basically spends his life here on YouTube talking about sports. Now, yesterday, he made a video and a stream. And in the video, it's titled 2019 Philadelphia Eagles Boom or Bust Window is Closing Rapidly. And in the video, he basically tells us, or his viewers, that basically 2019 is the last season in a few years that the Eagles will be able to do anything, or, you know, it's the last year that they will hypothetically be at a high, or playing at a high level, because in 2020, the Philadelphia Eagles will be having salary cap troubles. And he says this because the Philadelphia Eagles do have a lot of players that are, that have big contracts. I think most of their salary cap is distributed amongst 10 players. And he gives a number that the Eagles in 2020 will have $14 million over the cap. And what we know about the salary cap is that you want to have under the cap. So let's say like the cap is like the ground level. You want to have, you know, your cap under the ground level and not over it. You don't want it to go over, because if it goes over, I'm not sure if in the NFL they pay some sort of luxury tax like they do in the NBA. But that's something that could possibly happen if you find yourself over the cap. So in the NFL, you want to be under that number. And like he said, the only way to alleviate this number and make it better, make the cap space number better, is by restructuring or cutting or trading players. The issue is the fact that a lot of these players who have a lot of money, because a lot of their contracts right now are kind of backloaded, you won't be able to get rid of them because you'll have a lot of dead cap space or dead money. So think of it as, I have 10 apples, I want to share it with my friend, but 8 of them are now rotten, so I can only share one of them with my friend. Like, it's poisonous, rotten apples. So you can only share one of them with your friend. You can only take one for yourself. So it's kind of like the money is weighing you down, and even if you try to get rid of it, it'll still hurt you. And Bad Dog, the website that he went to get his information, is he went to a website called Spotrac. Now, Spotrac is a website which looks at or tracks the contracts of professional sports leagues. So the NFL, the NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS, WNBA. You catch my drift there. So it basically tracks the number so that if someone wants to look it up, they can look it up. So we are currently viewing 2020. If we go down, the Philadelphia Eagles are below league average, which is about 23 million. They are below league average, and they are right here, 29th, at negative 13 million over the cap. Now, the reason why he said it was 14 million and now it's 13 million is because I think the Eagles cut somebody. And the way they got this number is they took the adjusted cap, which this website has at $18,200,000. And what they did was they took this number and they subtracted the cap, the team total of $201,625,593. And what we know from elementary school math, if you subtract a smaller number against a bigger number, or a bigger number from a smaller number, you get a negative number. And that's what the Eagles have right here, according to the website. Now, there's a bit of an issue here. And it's a big issue. So let's go to the Philadelphia Eagles 2019. Sorry about that. I needed to make the screen a little bit bigger. So you see the 2020 cap total. You see that $188,200,000 number. And then you have the $201 million number. And you subtract it. And you get the estimated cap space number. We go to the bottom. And here's that adjusted number right here. That $188 million number. Now let's go last year. This year. Let's go back in time to this year. This year, the adjusted salary cap number is $198,901,096 million. Oh, yeah. And then let's go back to 2018. Let's go back to last year. Last year, the number was $177,714,409. Okay? Let's go back one more year. Go back one more year. It's about $1 million less. Okay? We'll go back to 2016. 2016, the number was $161 million and change. If you are catching the drift here, if you are catching the trend, that number goes up every single year. So that number in 2020, it will not be $188,200,000. It's going to be at least $11 million more of maximum salary cap. It's going to go up. I don't know that for a fact, but based on the trend, that's exactly what's going to happen. And this is the reason why I don't like to use Spotrac, and I do like to use over the cap, OTC. And the reason why I like to use OTC is because they do all of the work for you. And they add in the total cap space. So this year, the Philadelphia Eagles will have a team cap space total of $21 million. Okay? That is the money that we have this year to spend. And we got that number by renegotiating and restructuring contracts for Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz. Howie Roseman is very good at this. So this is that number that we have this year to do whatever we want with it. Now, we will probably use, I would say we would use no more than $10 million to go over to next season. We'll use that to possibly, maybe we make a trade, maybe we sign a guy during the season to sign our draft picks, maybe we get a free agent, maybe we extend a player. I would say at the least the number will be $8 million, which we know $21 million, like we saw earlier, that's a little bit under the average, but it's still doable. Now, let's say, for instance, we don't do anything, right? We go into next season with all of this money before the draft, which isn't, by the way, is not going to happen. In 2020, the Philadelphia Eagles have $5 million of team cap space. So this number will be added to this number, and we will eventually get a total. Now, Bad Dog talked a lot about dead cap money. What he didn't really go into was pre-June 1st, post-June 1st cuts, trades, and restructuring and extensions. So he didn't really go into that. And that's why I like this website better, because it outlines that information in a better way for everybody. So I do not think that Bad Dog was trying to pull the wool over people's eyes when it came to the Eagles cap space number. I don't think he was trying to be a dishonest actor. I don't think he was just trying to be a hater, which, by the way, even if he was a hater, he'd be allowed to say whatever he wanted to say, right? Coming out and saying the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be in cap trouble in 2020, a viable response or a logical response would not be to say the Giants suck. Okay, because that's just basic. That's saying, okay, I agree with you, but the Giants suck. That's not going ahead and doing your own research. That's not going ahead and helping to keep people in check. Okay, it was just like when back in 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, I used to make videos all the time saying that Eli Manning was not elite, and Giants fans, they wouldn't come back to me with any type of statistical analysis. Instead, they would come back to me with, oh, well, the Eagles have never won a Super Bowl. You're ringless. You've never seen a franchise quarterback. You've never seen an elite quarterback at the level of Eli Manning. That's not coming out and saying, or disputing any of what I said. It's agreeing with it, but also saying, well, you have no right to say it because you haven't done this and this and this and this. The difference between that and something else is I went into Bad Dog's live chat, which he seemed a bit testy after the video that he made, and he had people in his comment section talking about how, Carson Wentz sucks, and I said, well, if he sucks so bad, then how come he can beat you guys broke back and gimpy legged? That's called tit for tat. Because they're talking trash, I can talk trash right back. That's how it works. That's what I learned in a rhetoric class back in high school, where I learned all the logical fallacies. But and I think Bad Dog, he ended up saying at one point, oh, well, you take beating the Giants like it's a successful thing. Well, yeah. They're on our schedule. We won 9 games. We got into the playoffs by half a game. That one game was needed in order to get into the playoffs. Because if we don't win that game, we go 8-8. The Vikings go 8-7-1, and they go to the playoffs, and we don't. So, yeah. That one game last season, one win last season was an important game. Beating all your division rivals is important, because usually if you do well against your division rivals, you're probably going to the playoffs. Not always, but probably. Or you're probably having a pretty successful season. So, not only does Spotrac not put into the equation the adjusted salary cap, it also doesn't put in the money that is rolled over from the season before. Now, here's the thing. The Eagles could be in salary cap trouble. That is a possibility. That is something that could happen. Because, again, this $188 million number, it's an arbitrary number. We don't know what that actual number is going to be. We know it's probably going to be more than $198 million. But we don't exactly know what that number is going to be. And we don't know who we're going to sign, who we're going to restructure, who we are going to let go. We don't know any of that. The other thing that it doesn't put into the equation is the top 51. Now, what people need to understand is that there are players on the Eagles roster right now that won't make the team. meaning they won't get any guaranteed money. So the Eagles get to take back some money in those contracts. So I'm not sure if our cap number is going to go up because of that. If this $21 million number is going to go up or what. But I do know for a fact that the Eagles salary cap number is not going to be negative $13 million in 2020. I know that for a fact. And I know this because I actually trust Over the Cap more. I'm not saying that I trust it more because it's giving me a number that I like more. I just always use it. And again, I don't fault Bad Dog for what he did. I think that YouTube is important and video responses are important to keep people in check. And I hope he sees this video and I hope he doesn't, I hope this doesn't make him upset. Just basically because of the fact that I respect him and I wouldn't be making this video if I didn't respect him. So I hope that this clears a lot up. I hope Bad Dog sees this video. And I hope a lot of people in the comment section of his video sees the video, because a lot of them were very misinformed and were really straw-manning Philadelphia Eagles fans, just basically because they see Philadelphia Eagles fans as, you're just all homers. You all believe that the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl every year because of this and that reason. You guys all think you're going to get the best free agents. You guys all live in the past. And it's like they believe that there isn't a single Giants fan that isn't a homer or doesn't talk out of his or her ass or doesn't or thinks that there is no Giants fan that isn't objective or doesn't critically think, which honestly, for every Lord Brunson in the Philadelphia Eagles fan base, there is a Cop Hizzle in the Giants fan base. There are plenty of Giants fans who are homers. There are plenty of Giants fans that don't know what they're talking about. And I think one of the reasons why they're saying what they're saying is because they have somebody like Bad Dog who says something, and a lot of people trust Bad Dog, and they're like, oh, so I'm right. The Eagles are going to be in cap trouble, which they probably won't be in cap trouble. And in all honesty, the Eagles have been teetering around 8 to 12 million the last few years, and they've been just fine. So I find it actually worse if you have too much cap space, because that means that you're not extending your players and you're basically playing a game of musical chairs with your players. Like the Cleveland Browns, they always had a lot of cap space for years. Didn't mean that they were successful. So I'm honestly more afraid about Carson Wentz's health and Mike Groh than I am about cap space. So that's all I have to say about this video. I gotta, eating the popcorn looking at this comment section because it's pretty funny. And again, make sure that you criticize the people that you watch. Don't just listen to the things that they say and just believe all of it. Make sure you do your own research, and you'll be better off for it. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I know it was long, but I hope it was very informative. I hope everyone has a nice day, and, keep up the good work, Bad Dog, because you're an amazing video maker. And I know that you don't make videos just to piss people off. You make videos because you have an opinion and you like to make your opinion known. So I hope everyone has a nice day. Peace.
X equals Pedro's girlfriends. 5x equals Juan's girlfriends. X minus 1 equals Carlos's girlfriends. X plus 5x plus x minus 1 equals 20. So x equals 3.